Yeah. So, this is the most important part of starting a business. But why do you think people don't do it? Right? Like, why don't people do this? So you have big companies still don't do this process, and so they run through the process of you do market research, which is looking at you hire somebody, an expert who tells you what the market trends are, and then you design the product, you you spec it out, you develop it, and then you launch it. And when people are not buying, what do? You spend advertising money on it. And if they don't buy, you spend more advertising money on it. And then 2 years down the line, you can it. So big corporates can do that because for them, after, if you've been asking people and find that people don't like your idea, they ask you tough questions to say, but aren't you the one who's supposed to know? You got an MBA, you got this degree, you got this qualification, you're a PhD, you should have the answers. But here we're saying, no, we don't have the answers. The answers lie outside the building. But that's something that a lot of people don't do because we are trained to know, and we can't say, let me learn from the customer. So what people do then when they go out, they build something that nobody wants. And a lot of corporates know that this product is not going to work, but because they fear for the jobs. And when you wait 2 years, now you can distribute the blame, right? You can fire the marketing of, I mean, the head of marketing or the sales head, all of that, but you distribute the blame. It could be customer service, it could be ops, it could be dev, it could be sales, marketing, and then everybody in the end sometimes can still have their jobs. But in a startup, you don't have that luxury. You need to build something that people want. So why don't people do this? Asking questions. I think that why a lot of people don't do this is because a lot of entrepreneurs call their ideas their babies. Don't call your ideas your babies. Nobody wants to be told their baby is ugly, right? Like your baby is not worth Instagram. People be like, oh, your baby is cute, and they don't mean it, right? So don't call your ideas babies, call them experiments because you're really experimenting and you're trying to learn. So the purpose of doing customer interviews is to learn as quickly as possible what the people really want, and then whether your idea is actually a business. Not all ideas are businesses. You learn very quickly again that sometimes we're excited about something, but nobody else is. So that's what makes customer interviews very difficult. Sunk cost bias. So sunk cost bias is where you feel you've put in so much time and I've worked 3 years on this and therefore it must work, when all the evidence is saying, look, this is not a business. So it's okay to cut your losses and move on than spending more money on something. And then again, as Nicole said, you need to have your assumptions before you go into the customer interviews, and that way you're trying to validate that. So again, if you have a lot of assumptions, choose which ones are assumptions that make or break your idea. There's certain assumptions. If I assumed the people will buy males and I find that the people will buy females, like, oh, okay, cool. Just good insight. Then I just change my marketing, right? That's not a make or break answer. It's good to know. But then sometimes there are those assumptions where it actually changes it. If my whole business idea was based on this alarm clock needs to use light, and then I realize that there's only Lukman who wakes up with light, everybody else doesn't, then it changes the business. Like, do I have a business or do I need to shift? Okay, so those are the things to consider. Then there are times when you can ask a yes, no question. So I noticed like in the groups, people are getting confused around yes, no questions and leading questions. So leading questions are questions where you are giving somebody an answer. So you're saying, do you have to get up? If I said, would you use an alarm clock, right? it's different from, do you like my alarm clock? Like if I'm, the leading question will give me an answer I want. A direct question, a direct yes, no question can give me either one of two. So a leading is where I want a particular type of answer. I hope you get that. So if I'm saying, would you buy this? Or would you, what do you think about, do you like my idea? There it's like you want the answer to be yes. But if I ask that, do you use an alarm clock? Or do you use an alarm to get up? Right? That's a direct yes, no answer, but it's not a leading question. That one I can get somebody who says, no, I don't need to, like Nicole was saying, there's sometimes you can get an answer where somebody said, no, I don't need to have a reminder to get up. I don't at all. I don't have any requirement to get up like that. Then sometimes we ask a further question saying, when did you fail to get up at the time that you needed? It's like, yeah, when I was traveling, we went out clubbing, I had a flight to catch the next morning, and I overslept. Then it gives you that, when you know when that particular instance was, then you think, okay, would they carry their light as an alarm, right? And you to wake them up when they slept for 2 hours after drinking and partying. You know, so those are the type of things that you unravel. And then, so that was around some of the questions that some people ask. Say, if you ask a question to say, are you always on time? There's nobody who will give that answer to say yes. So again, there's certain questions where you don't gain much insight from, okay? Because it's like almost everybody has been in time, has had an experience where they were not on time. So you can just ask that question in a more direct manner to get the answer you want. Say, well, what does it matter that you are on time? They'll say yes or no, or like, no, doesn't matter. In my work, doesn't matter if I'm on time or not. Then you also realize that that person is not your client. Then again, to find out if your people, I mean, the customers are the right ones, you want to know that the problem matters so much to them that they are doing something about it. Because sometimes it's like, it bothers me, yes. Do I want to solve it? No, it gives me something to complain about when everybody is complaining about stuff, right? Like for instance, for me, I complain about hotel muesli. I don't like it. It sticks to my teeth. Is it something I'll pay money to solve? No, you know? So just an irritation, but doesn't matter. So those are some of the things to think about, that when you ask them, does it matter? And then to show that it matters, they have a workaround, or they're paying for something already to try to solve that.